Hello, good evening, everyone. If you can hear me, kindly type in the comment section, I can hear you, or you type 111. If you can hear me, please type in the comment section, I can hear you. All right, all right, all right, all right. Good evening, everybody. How are we all doing? Hope our day is as beautiful as we all look in our profile pictures. Today is a very special day that is actually very close to my heart because there are some principles in wealth creation. We have the principle of creating wealth, we have the principle of multiplying wealth, and we have the principle of retaining wealth, right? Now, for all this level of wealth, we all need knowledge. Sorry about that, kids are really disturbing me. For all this level in wealth, we all need vast knowledge about it. Most of us are creating wealth through our various individual businesses and jobs, right? And then we are here into cryptocurrency to multiply that wealth. That is why we are here to multiply your money. That is why somebody will buy a coin of $10 and the person will be making $900. Yeah, that is wealth multiplication. It's a principle in wealth, right? Then we're talking about wealth retention is the most important because I've seen people who made whole lot of money. Politicians, that is why when the politicians enter a political office, he doesn't want to leave because he didn't have because most of them are just busy stealing public funds. They don't have the knowledge on how to retain wealth. The only thing they know how to do is just to take money from the masses. So I've seen a lot of people that make a lot of money and they go back to ground zero. That is because they've not mastered the principle of wealth retention. Today, my mentor, like I told you guys on the platform, I'm very lucky to marry my mentor. My husband is actually my biggest support system. Most of the magic you see me doing, public speaking, well, everything, I get most of them from him, right? So I've been on him for the past how many months? God knows how long I've been on him. And I'm going to come and teach us wealth, financial goal setting. We're entering the bull run. We need this knowledge. We need this knowledge to help us multiply, retain. You all need the knowledge, to set our goals, right? Goal setting. We need this knowledge because most people will make a lot of money in this crypto and they will lose it and they would go back to ground zero. That is why this lecture is actually coming in handy at this time, right? So today we'll be starting our lecture. I've begged him that it's not just today, you always come around and help us the same way you are helping me, the same way you are helping me grow and become a better person. I want you to also help the women in my communities too with your vast knowledge, please. Because my own knowledge, I'm limited to what I can do. He's the one that has the knowledge. So I know that after this today's training, subsequently he'll also come around to grace us with his vast experience in wealth creation and retention. So today we'll be starting our lecture with leadership, financial goal setting, right? So please permit me to do the honor of welcoming on stage Dr. He's a pharmacist, a doctor, actually, Somtochukwu Inya-Agha. So please, yeah, you have the floor. You have the floor.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Nice to see you
Yeah.
all. So how are we all doing today? I trust we're all doing great. Sorry, let me
Can you
adjust
kindly mute
my
me? Can you
system a
mute
bit.
me, please? Can you mute me,
Yeah,
please?
come again.
Can you mute me?
All right,
Mute
all
me.
right, all right.
Okay.
I'll do so shortly. I'll do so shortly.
All right.
Just hold on. Uh, okay. So I have the floor now.
Yeah.
All right, y'all are looking great. Nice to be in the midst of women in crypto, and it's a beautiful thing for me. I was right there when the process started. Actually, my lovely wife, thank God for her, beauty with brains as well. It's been awesome. I remember when she was still in the Nollywood industry, and I told her, whatever you're doing there, you can do much more if you join me in this crypto space. And she not only came on board, she went all in. Then I had a community, and I told her, okay, let me see how your capacity, what you can do. And it was just for her to just learn crypto and then make money off it and then work from home and make more than she was making in the industry. And she came in, took up the initiative, and called me one day and said she's ready to take on a class. I was to have a class, I was down. I'd handled series of classes, and it became cumbersome on me. And she said she wanted to handle a class herself. And it was a class of professors, doctors, like it was my A-list class. Okay. And my spirit told me, you've put your all you know in her, allow her do it. And she took up that class and she did amazingly well. I was shocked. And right there and then, I promoted her to become a facilitator in Ramak Digital Academy. And then from then, she kept on powering. And one day she comes to me and she says, can she handle the female folks? Because the men seem to catch faster because they're already businessmen, but the female are lacking behind. Can she just take care of them and have extra lessons with them? And I said, go ahead. And the next thing she's like, okay, she formed, it was a Cubana Crypto Cartel. I remember the name, Cubana Crypto Cartel, what she started with first. And then metamorphosed, and they made so much money. It now metamorphosed into women in crypto. And then they started traveling the world globally. And so I watched women in crypto from infancy metamorphose what you see today. What you're seeing today, most of you are seeing today, didn't start now. It's like a 3 years journey. It started actually precisely 2019. That's the community you are seeing now that is changing lives. And so when she came back to me again and still told me that the community is lacking leadership, and her fears is that people will make this money in the bull run and still lose it all due to lack of financial literacy. And I am a digital investment and financial mentor. I provide financial literacy insights into trading, investing, and wealth creation using cryptocurrencies and other digital currencies. And so I now said, okay, it was 2 days ago, I now accepted, because normally when I speak, I get paid, like seriously, and in the millions. And so because women in crypto is an offshoot of Ramak Digital Academy, and I watched the baby grow big to what it is today into this large community of amazing women who want to contribute to the family in no small way, who want to change the nation. Women are actually nation builders. That's why we refer to the world as female. All right. In any community, once the female folk, that's why the female folks are always more than the male in any ecosystem or community. Once the male are more than the female, that particular race is going into extinction. So if we give you the very best, through you, Nigeria will become better. Through you, through women, Africa will become better as well. And that's why I made up my mind. That was 2 days ago. I thought, okay, let me handle leadership for women in crypto and be sure that those of them who are willing to learn, teachable, and coachable, that once they come up, they'll never go down again. I've watched series and series of people who go up the ladder. It is not going up that's a challenge. It's remaining on top that is a challenge. Because up there, it gets lonely. Up there, if you don't have somebody mentoring you, definitely you nosedive. Okay? So I'm assuring her, my lovely wife, that I'm going to create time in my busy schedule, at least every Monday for the meantime, till even if I travel out of the country, wherever I'm in the world, else if it's a job beyond my control, to come on air and mentor you guys free of charge. But you assure me that everything I teach you, you will put it to use. Because knowledge is useless if it's not put to use. Until your knowledge is useful to somebody, that knowledge is useless. And only practice can make knowledge become ingrained in you, to become your second nature. All right? So I'm going to make sure the Zoom, I know, will not contain, it's going to contain only 100 people. Okay? And so I'm recording this class so that those who are not able to enter can still watch the replay. So be rest assured, even if the network locks you out, be rest assured that you will come back in and you will have access to my trainings. Okay? So having laid the foundation, first of all, I want all of you to get a paper and pen and start writing. Because every word that comes out of my mouth when I speak, I don't cram what I say. I speak from inspiration. And when I get that inspiration, I keep speaking. As I'm looking at your faces, I'm seeing Constance Okoli, I'm seeing Ezebri, Emomomi, I'm seeing Ruchaino, Happiness, Azar, Chidinma, and the rest of them. I see all of you as nations. I don't see you as people. I see you all as nations. Nations are built by people. And those who don't have 2 or 3 brains, it's just one brain. Difference is in the vision. That poor man you see out there is simply an untrained mind. Every human being has the capacity to build wealth. The problem is, sorry, let me rephrase it. Every human being can create wealth. The problem now is, do you have the capability and capacity to create that wealth, to print it out into the physical space? That's the essence of this meeting today. I want to bring out the real essence in you. First of all, when you see a cup and the cup is half, as in there's water in the cup, it's not full. Some of you interpret it as, let us say this is a cup and you have water here. Some will say it is half full, some will say it is half empty. And they are both right. Difference in perception. All right? Now, in this case, I want you to assume your cup is empty. And then it opens up your mind to now begin to fill up that cup with knowledge. Because it is knowledge that wealth is created and sustained. Now, write this down. You can stumble onto cash, but you can't stumble onto wealth. Women in crypto, I'm talking to you today, sitting in my office. I'm listening to you, telling you something. You can, out of 6 coins you buy, 1 coin can catapult you from $50 to $10,000. I've seen it happen in this space. I'm not telling you what is not happening in this space. I've seen somebody put $260 into a coin and end up with $65 million in a space of 3 months. It's happened in this crypto. I've been in crypto space since 2015. I have seen this space create millionaires. But the challenge is, you come back 2 years down the line and that person is not looking for food to eat. That's where it baffles me. And people look as if is the money cost or what? No. Financial literacy is the difference. So you can stumble onto cash in this crypto space, but you can't stumble onto wealth, because wealth is created deliberately. For example, something can happen and you're minister of finance or minister of something happens, or you have a godfather, you become governor of a state, and you keep packing. Let me use governors as an example. In Nigeria, anybody who becomes anointed by his godfather to become a governor, you will control not less than 12 billion naira every month as allocation. And you control it for 12 months in a year times 8 years. So multiply it. If the governor was to take only 10% of that 12 billion every month, that's about 1.2 billion. That means in a year, that governor is worth 12, almost 14 billion. Then multiply it by 8 years. That's not wealth, that's cash. So the governor has stumbled onto cash. Now look at all the past governors. After 8 years, they leave office. They are all broke. In fact, they have to be rehabilitated by their mentees or proteges, who now send them to the Senate to at least be getting something to feed. Then they go there to sleep. That's to show you that it doesn't matter how much cash that passed through you. What matters is, how did you put the funnels or the steps in place to convert that cash to wealth? How many holding vessels? Because cash is called currency for a reason. Every rich man you know, there's a time when he's broke. Every broke man you know, there's a time when he's in money, because cash flows, so-called cash flow. Now, as that currency is flowing, all right, from one person to the other, how many vessels do you have in place to hold back that money as it's flowing past you? So what happens? The rich build hotels, build hostels, build residential apartments, put money in investments. Now, these things are holding vessels. So let us say there is a function happening in Enugu State, for example. Let's say they are playing Junior World Cup, right? Now, a lot of tourists will come into Enugu to watch Junior World Cup. They will now, as the tourists are coming, they are coming with money. Listen to me. The money you seek is no other place but in humans. All the money you seek is in human beings. The money you seek is in somebody's pocket. The one I seek is in somebody's pocket. Now, what value will you create to make that money leave that pocket and come to your pocket? Just begin to see it that way. I want you to begin to check these things this way. So money is not money, first of all. Just see money as a receipt for value created. I've not gone to my slides yet. I'm just trying to lay foundation so that you can begin to understand me when I go to the slide. Now, this is 1,000 naira note. 1,000. This is 500 naira note. 500, right? I'm placing it here. This is 200 naira note. The same paper that was used to make this was used to make this and was used to make this. But if I ask you to choose one, most people will go for this. Now, if I bring in a dollar note, a dollar bill, and keep now, most people abandon this and go for the dollar bill. What does it tell you? If money was just money, then anyone can go for this, or go for this, or go for this. But money is simply a receipt. So if I create a value worth 1,000, I get given this receipt of 1,000 to show I have created value worth 1,000. If the value I created is not up to 1,000 and you come, you will ask me, sir, please, would you accept 500? It means you don't believe the value is up to 1,000. And I say, okay, instead of 500, give me 700 and I will go. I'll accept. You now bring out a receipt of 500 and 200, 700 and give me, and I give you the value I created. You are busy chasing this. This is not what you need to chase. You chase this, it eludes you. Concentrate on value creation, because once you create that value, its equivalent in cash will come to you naturally. For example, all of you are running Facebook ads. Facebook simply created a platform to gather data and gather human beings together to socialize. He didn't monetize that platform till after 4 years he created it. Then today, all of us now go to Facebook to do advertisements to get clients. And what happens? We take our money and give to Facebook. Facebook on its own begins to adjust his price as he wants and increase the value creation process. And we pay him. Now, none of you have met Mark Zuckerberg. None of you even know where Facebook office is. What happens? You are carrying his office in your phones. How about Uber? Travis Kalanick. He was in a bus stop. It was raining in Poland. Sorry, it was snowing in Poland. He couldn't get a ride. It occurred to him. How about I create a cab hailing service? He saw an opportunity where others saw a disadvantage. So when you are in any situation and you're uncomfortable, just know that there are 1,000,001 people in that same situation who are also uncomfortable. How do you create a solution for that situation so that those who have that challenge will come to you for that value you've created and lay their money on your feet and say, here's my money, take it, do as it pleases you? Uber did that. He simply went back home to Austria. He thought for himself, can I digitize a process where people can stay in the comfort of their home and request for a cab and be sure the cab has come before they come down, enter the cab and go to where they're going to without having to stand in the bus stop? He created that solution in faraway Austria. And today, The money is flowing from everywhere in the world, from Nigeria, from UK. I use Uber everywhere in the world. This guy just sitting down, collecting 50% of what all riders are making globally. He owns no cab, he owns no taxi, he has no taxi company. He simply has a cab management system, and that's it. Now, if you create value, it doesn't matter where you are. If you like being in Kafanchan, if you like being in Panchin, if you like being the most remote village in Nigeria, if you create value of global importance, money will gravitate from everywhere in the world and lay themselves on your feet. So that thing you're looking for in Canada, in US, in UK is right there with you. You just need to find a way to bring out your inner essence and print it out in reality. Now, let's start with something first. You must understand something, that you are first a creative being from creation. No man born of a human being should determine what you should earn in a year. If a civil servant, public servant, salary earner, good and fine. But still, don't depend on that. Work to learn, then create something that can really bring you the value you deserve. So I tell my colleagues, I tell my mentees, I said, I am doctor, I am engineer, I am pharmacist, I am barrister. Those things put you in a cocoon. You are not a doctor. You just learned medicine and then got that title. You are not a pharmacist. You learned how to practice pharmacy. You are not an engineer. You simply learned about engineering. You are a creative being, which means you are highly mobile. You can operate in any field. You're a pharmacist, like I'm a pharmacist now. If I decide to be a pilot, what will I do? I simply go to a pilot training school and spend 5 years, and I come out a pilot. So I am not a pharmacist by birth. I learned how to do it. The same way, if I'm a pilot and I want to become a barrister, another 5 years in a school of law, and I go to law school, I'll come out a barrister. So, as a human being, every 5 years is enough for you to pick a new skill and begin to play in a different industry. That is why the rich don't go with their titles. You hear Aliko Dangote, not Engineer Dangote, but he's playing in salt, he's playing in sugar, he's playing in cement field. He has now entered oil and gas. He did spaghetti at some point. He did food. Do you understand? Now, look at Adenuga. Playing in different fields as well. He was playing in banking. Later started playing in Glo, telecommunications. Look at Otedola. Just look at this. I'm telling you about rich men. You don't hear their titles. You don't hear them say, I am banker, I am this. No. So please, from now on, just know that you are a creative being and you can do anything you want to do once you commit to it. That's who you are. And every 5 years is enough for you to become proficient in anything you're going to do, based on the 10,000 hour rule, that anything you do consistently for 10,000 hours, you become a master in it. So that you came into crypto, women in crypto, and crypto is what you are doing now. Aside other things to do for a living, you can become a professional in crypto. You can master crypto. It can be your second nature if you give it your all. And all the monies you want is here present. What matters most is, what do you do with the knowledge you have? Now, let me share my slide. So we enter the main class proper, okay? Just hold on. Let me share my slide. And let's go into the main crux of the matter. Okay. All right. So for those who joined it, my name is Dr. Inya-Agha, and I'm a digital entrepreneur. Now, remove the doctor, don't worry. Inya-Agha, I'm a creative being, right? But we'll put it in there so that Nigerians respect title a lot, so no problem. But in my head, I know I'm more than that. Okay? So I'm a digital entrepreneur. I'm a financial planner. I'm a digital business and investment mentor. And then I'm the founder of Ramak Digital Academy, the parent company to Women in Crypto Nigeria. And so I'll give my very best. I'll share my knowledge to the best of my ability so that all of you I see as nations will have your own nations in no distant time from now. Now, what I have in mind is this. I'm going to lead you by example. I'm going to motivate you with my teachings. I'm going to inspire you so that I can bring out the inner essence in you so you can live the life to the fullest. Because everybody that came to this world, God sent you in for a purpose. You're not just a random number. No. There is something you have come to this earth to do so that you live this earth better than you met it. Now, I'm going to mentor you. And then I'll become your coach when you now have a vision that is clear cut out. And you can begin to work towards it. And then we'll teach you how to create a teamwork. Because 1, we put 1,000 and 10, we put 10,000. And that's the win-win situation for all of us. Okay? Now, the first quote I want to refer to is that of Lila Gifty. He says, it is better to experience moments of discomfort in achieving your dreams than to be comfortable without accomplishing your dreams. Some people, surprisingly, pass through life without having lived. It's a painful one. You came to this earth and left this earth, and there's no mark to show someone like you came to this earth. God forbid. The kind of women we want to build in this community are women who build nations. Women who come to this world and their names are etched in the sands of time. And it will be said that a person like this walked through the earth due to the impact you make before leaving this earth. We will all live someday. But the truth is, what is the legacy we leave behind? Now, there are 4 ways a person would err in this earth. But before I get to that, I want you all to understand something. The human being is the only animal of all creatures that requires training to succeed. Oh. Hold on. I'm hearing my slide cannot be seen. So let's go back again. Sorry, let me go back again. All right. So is my slide visible now? Let me see in the chat room. My slide is visible now. Type 111 in the chat room if the slide is visible. Okay, very good. Visible. Okay, very good. Yes. So I've already explained myself, so I don't need to go there again. Now let's go to the map I have in mind for us all. All right. So, like I said earlier, leading by example. Now, these processes, all of you have to go through it as well as time goes on. Okay? So, as I'm teaching you, someday you're going to teach some other person, and the knowledge will continue all the way down the line. So, you lead by example, you motivate people, you inspire people. Difference between inspiration is the opposite is enslaving. My duty is not to enslave you, my duty is to inspire you so you can live the best life you can from who you become. Then I become your mentor, and then I become your coach at the point you have a vision. Together, we make that vision become a reality, and then we achieve that through teamwork. And with teamwork, it becomes a win-win situation because 1 will pull 1,000 and 10 will pull 10,000. All right? Now, it takes us to the next slide. Sorry, my system is hanging. All right. So that's the quotes I was talking about by Lila Gifty Aketa, who says, It is better to experience moments of discomfort in achieving your dreams than to be comfortable without accomplishing your dreams. Now, why do I say so? Because many people live their lives without having lived at all. Many people are simply existing, they are not living. Difference between existing and living is very simple. You come to this world, there are two kinds of human beings in this world. They are the creators and they are the makers. Which one are you? The creators are those who wake up in the morning with intent of what they intend to achieve for that day. And then they create that day before they leave their homes. If you don't create your day before leaving, it means you go out every day going to make a day others have created. Nothing in this life happens by chance. So if you don't create your day, it means you are going to make the day another person has created. Now, why is that so? You must understand something. The human being is the only animal of all creatures God created that requires training to succeed. All other animals survive by instinct. That means if a goat gives birth to a kid, right? That little kid, if within 2-3 minutes, it gets stopped and starts walking. Within 10 minutes, it locates its mother's breast, as in the female she-goat's breast, and it starts sucking. Before you know it, it starts looking at the mother, and then it begins to eat grass. The lions, the same thing. Every animal, the same thing. But for humans, if you give birth to a child, that child just lies on the bed where you left the child and just knows how to cry. You'll be the one to carry the child up and then put his mouth in your breast for the child to suckle. You leave the child lying, he remains lying. At a point in time, you feel the child is strong enough, you want to teach the child how to sit. As the mother, you begin to set the child up so the child can start sitting. If you leave that child without trying to teach the child how to sit, that child will lie down for all his life and think that's how to live. Now the child starts sitting. On your own, you prod the child to move to start crawling. You begin to guide the child starts crawling. Gradually on your own, you go and get a walker. If you leave that child crawling, the child will crawl forever. You bring a walker, you teach the child how to sit in a crawler and try to walk, hold things and move around. You, the parent, from moving around, the child starts walking. Next thing, the child learns how to run. And that's how the child begins to grow. Now, if you don't send that child to school, whether formal education or informal education, that child would not know how to survive this life. You teach your child, whether you know how to teach your child what you do for a living. Let us say you are for those who are, let us say you're a tailor, you're a seamstress, you know how to sew very well. The child has to come in and learn that trade for that child to survive. Or you're a businessman or businesswoman, you teach the child the trade. If you don't teach the child the trade, that child will pass through life a liability. You send the child to school, the same thing. So what makes any human being earn is based on his level of learning. So you earn according to your knowledge capacity. If you check, all your earnings today is from what you know how to do. The day you learn more, you earn more. Let us say, for example, before you met women in crypto, you were earning, let's say, 500,000 naira a month. Now, you saw women in crypto advert, you joined, you got trained, you now knew about crypto, you started investing in crypto coins. That's a new knowledge. What happens? You've now exposed yourself to a new set of earnings. Do you understand now? So, if you want to earn more, what do? You learn more. The day you stop learning, you don't just stay in that stage. You start going down. In life, nothing is static. You are either going up or you are going down. You never stay in one place because the earth is constantly revolving, orbiting and revolving. The earth is making two motions, right? It's orbiting around the sun. It's also revolving. So you are either going forward or you're going backwards. So when you stop learning, you start going back. And you cannot solve tomorrow's problem with yesterday's money. That's the mistake people make. Some people ask, why are the rich still looking for money? They have made so much money. Why wouldn't they just give way for the poor to breathe? Because the rich man understands the principle of the earth. That you cannot solve tomorrow's money problem with yesterday's money. You have to keep making money. Because the challenges keep coming. Each day you wake up, there are new bills. For as long as you are alive. So for each money-making opportunity you come across, take it very seriously. It holds the key to solving challenges you will meet in the future. So before you start anything, learn how to finish it. So you don't end up in this situation where this painter went to work. I can paint. He started painting, only to paint himself into a corner. Most of us, this is how our financial situation is. You have painted yourself into a corner. So before you start anything, start it with intent. Have a game plan. Know where to start. Know the middle point. Know the end point. With the end point in view, you begin to walk towards the solution. Okay? So the first thing is goal. I want to change your perception and understanding of certain things. Number one is goal. What are goals? Sorry, let me take this thing down so it doesn't affect your view. When I ask people what are goals, they tell me it's something they want to achieve, it's something they're looking towards and all that. Okay? But that's not the true meaning of a goal. All right? I'm going to change your perception about what goals are today. Now, goals are the thought processes and the physical activities you engage in that increase your self-worth to produce values that surpass your targets. The grammar is big, but I'll break it down. I repeat it again. Goals start from a thought process. Remember, I want to show you how human beings, if you want to know the secret of creation, go back to the Bible. Whether you're a Christian or a Muslim, go to your Quran, whichever religion you belong to, there must be a story of creation in that place. Right? Go and check who you are. Ye are gods. Psalm 87 said so. That means God sees us as gods, though we are little gods. And what do gods do? Gods create and gods adjudicate. So the life you're living today, if you don't like it, you can recreate it. It is in your power. Let me show you that creative process today. I'm going to break it down for you. Okay? Now, it starts from the thought process. Remember, at creation, God saw that the earth was void, without form, and darkness was on the face of the earth. That was God, his thinking process. He was already seeing the problem, the challenges he intended to solve, which was why his first word was, let there be light. Meaning, in his assessment, in his thought process, he saw the earth was without form, without void, and darkness was on the surface everywhere. That's what led him to say, let there be light. Watch again. He said, and there was light. Watch again the next line. He said, and God saw that the light he had created was good. Do you understand something now? Meaning, the light he created in his mind and the physical light he saw, he had to compare them to see if they were of equal intensity. Was this thing I have made, is it equal to what I created in my thought process? If it wasn't good enough, he would have done it again, recreated again. So the creation starts in your mind first, before you go out to make it physically. Now, that's why your thought is very important. So I ask you the question, who and what are your content providers? Because any content you consume affects your subconscious mind. So you need to guard whatever enters your mind jealously, because that is where your poverty comes from, and that is where your wealth comes from, either which way. which is why if you stay around broke people, you will end up being broke. 4 poor men with a rich man in their midst, that rich man is the next poor man but doesn't know. Whereas a poor man in the midst of 4 rich men, he's the next rich man, because there are different thought processes to wealth creation. Now, why do I say so? If your thought processes are that of positivity and enthusiasm, it brings a thought of well-being and it leads to positive results or positive outcomes. Whereas a thought process of negativity leads to frustration and leads to negative outcomes. So not every news you see on TV you watch. Certain news, you discard them because you don't need them. News of people complaining instead of providing solutions. You don't need to be a complainant. Be he who looks for solution, because it is in providing solution that money lies. Money does not come through complaining. Money comes through providing solutions to problems. If you're one of those who pray to God, you don't want problem at all. You don't want problem at all. Some of you are guilty of that. You wake up in the morning, you pray to God, say, God, please, today I don't want problem at all. My dear, that is why you're still broke and poor. If you don't solve problems, how can money come to you? Even when the problem is solved, you even make more money by finding better ways to make that thing happen. Once you bring in speed to a process and bring in simplicity to a process, it's enough for you to make more money. Why do I say so? Computers were very big before. Bill Gates learned how to compress computer into homemade systems. And that's how he made all his billions. There were already phones before Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs now thought of a solution to make phones smaller, to make music player like nanopod, iPod, nanopod, make it smaller. Compress laptops to this MacBook Pro, make it thinner. Remove flash CD-ROM, all those things. So he brought in simplicity and ease into a process, and it made him the billionaire he was, so that he was loaning money to banks. So look around you. Somebody can be processing chin-chin in a different way, and you have a way of processing it faster and delivering it faster. Already you're making more money than the next person. So they can bring in speed and simplicity to any process you meet today. Certainly that will bring money for you than you think. So that's what I mean by thought processes. Next thing is physical activities, because you've done the creation process by thinking it through. The next is the physical activities you do to make that thought process come into reality. Now, as you are doing this, you are increasing your self-worth. Because when you ask God that you want to be strong, what God will send to you is battles, problem, war. Because it is in fighting wars, you become a general and you become strong. Do you understand? So sometimes when you pray, you don't know the meaning of what you are praying for. Okay? So those challenges you meet in the process of making that physical activity come to pass is what makes your self-worth enough to produce values that surpass your target. That means if you want to achieve something of 20%, you must be a 40% human being or 50%. If you see yourself producing something of 5%, it means that you've not increased your self-worth enough. You want something of 20% and you're producing 5%. You need to go back and increase your self-worth through activities. The day you clock the human being that has value above 30%, you will naturally be able to take on targets of 10, 20, 25%. Do you understand? Because you cannot outdo your capacity. Now, why am I saying this? Genesis 11, 6-7. Why am I using the Bible? I want us to know that these things are ingrained in the Bible, just that we read the Bible and we don't really internalize these things. He said, and the Lord said, behold, this was when the people were building a tower to go and see God. He said, the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Hello, is someone understanding me? It means when these people were building this Tower of Babel, they had not built it yet. They just had the plan laid out. And God saw their imagination and saw that if these people start this thing, they have already finished it. And God was threatened. What did God do? He now scattered their language so they could not come together again and agree on one thing. So if God, your creator, does not doubt your capabilities, why are you doubting yourself? Let me give you an example. Let us say, assuming you are a general in the army, you have an AK-47 in your house. You put it in your wardrobe, in your room. You loaded it with bullets, but you put on the safety, right? Suddenly, you are coming back from work and you see your 6-year-old son carrying the gun in front of you saying, "Daddy, welcome, welcome, welcome," with the gun. What will you do? You immediately fly on the ground first, as you won't even want to, you want to think again, is it in safety? Though he's 6-year-old, does he know how to shoot? Or does he know how to aim? You don't want to care at that moment, because you loaded the gun. And you know that if that gun speaks, the capacity of devastation it can cause. So first thing you do is you lie down first, take cover. Then begin to tell your son, Junior, please shift the nozzle the other way. Shift it that way. Junior, drop it on the ground. Then you quietly take it from Junior. That's the same thing that happened to God. God designed us, created us, said we're like him, put us on earth and saw us doing things. He was marveled. He changed the language of the whole world. That's to show you that you are still operating below your capacity. You are a nation. Say, I told you so. I'm taking time to explain this thing to you. So when you go back, you work on yourself and bring out the real potential in you. That God nature in you must come out inside Women in Crypto. Now, once you've worked on yourself, because the goal makes you work on yourself. So they tell you in Women in Crypto, attend trainings, attend seminars, attend classes, do this. The leaders are teaching you. The founder, she's teaching you. Everybody is teaching you, passing knowledge. You are increasing your internal capacity. Then with what they've taught you, you have to now go out and set your targets or reference point to shoot at. That is why inside the same Women in Crypto, some are earning 100,000, some are earning 500,000, some are earning 300,000 through affiliates, being affiliates, and some are earning nothing. To whom? His capacity. So if you're earning 100 and you want to earn 500,000 every week, you increase your capacity. And when your capacity gets increased, you begin to increase your targets as well, your reference point. Now, let me tell you a secret again. When your goal has improved your person, because goal means you working on yourself. Goal is not what you want to achieve. No. What you want to achieve is the targets. But to achieve that target, you must first be that goal that can achieve that target. All right? Most people have it misplaced. Now, when you set your target, please write it down. Any target in your head can never be achieved. Mark my words, quote me anywhere. Even God, when he gave Moses 10 commandments, he wrote it down. God knows that the brain does not have infinite capacity to remember minute details. You see this brain? The laziest thing amongst everything God created is your brain. My brain too involved. The brain doesn't want to stress itself. Once you start watching Telemundo, your brain just follows Telemundo. You won't even know when the food you're cooking gets burnt. Your child self will be crying, you won't remember again. You start watching Hollywood, the brain follows. Once the brain sees motion picture, something moving, it follows because it doesn't want to think. Now, when you want to now read your book, that's when your brain wants to sleep. Each time you want to read a book, read a novel, read something that will build yourself, your brain wants to sleep. You start feeling sleepy. That's the brain for you. Then again, the brain wants to automate. If you do something over and over again, the brain just copies and pastes so that you can do it without thinking, because the brain doesn't like thinking. For example, if you drive your car from your office to your house, a time comes when you get used to driving from your office to your house. You don't need to think the route again. Your brain just drives you. So that's why even when you are drunk, you can still drive home. For those who drink very well. Sometimes you come back home, wake up in the morning wondering, am I the one that drove my car? You look out the window and see your car well parked. What happened? Your brain took over. Do you understand? Now, it is now your duty to build that brain to a point of metacognition. That means the act of thinking your thoughts. It is at that point you become intentional. How do you achieve that? For every target you seek to achieve, write it down. Then break it into numbers. Until you break your target into numbers, you cannot also achieve it. The world works in numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Look in the Bible. 7 times 7. 70 times 7. 3 times 7. What? Numbers. That's why a whole book in the Bible was called Numbers. Notice in that book, numbering Israel, numbering their strength, numbering captains of tens, captains of thousands. That is it. So you want to achieve 200,000 naira this week. Break it down. Last time, I did Facebook ad with 50,000. It brought in 30 people. Out of 30, 15 paid. And I made 150,000. Okay? These numbers now. So if I want to make 300,000, it means I should do Facebook ad 100,000. And it should bring in at least 60 people. Then my conversion strength is for every 30 that comes in, 15 pays. So I have a 50% conversion rate. Okay? So 60 will give me 30 payments. 30 payments by 10, 300,000. Are you seeing numbers? Then you go to Facebook ad, you put in 100,000. Suddenly, instead of 60 people, only 40 came in. There's a problem in your number. You come back again. What happened to the ad? Is it that they had difficulty coming in? Or the ad was wrong? You begin to tweak it. Then, if you are estimating 60 and 70 or 80 came in, it means, yes, no number is good. Then out of, when you brought in 30, 15 paid, you now brought in 80, only 10 paid. You're like, okay, what happened? Is it the quality of those I brought in dropped? Or did my presentation go down? Or did I not put urgency? Are you understanding? Or, okay, 20 came in. Did I follow up well? Numbers. So in my group, after every 80 comes in, 30 pays, and there's still 50 who didn't pay. But within the week, another 10 pays because I keep following up on them. So how do I increase my follow-up so that 20 will pay? Numbers. Break these things down. I'm using women in crypto, for example. If you go into every other business, whether it's cement business, whether it's building business, blocks, you want to build a house, how many number of blocks, how many doors, how many windows, until you break it into numbers, you can't achieve it. Because the mind is meant to think in numbers. Notice that even computers, programs, when they run, you see 1010, 011, 101, is still numbers. It's true most of us might not like mathematics, but you mustn't be an arithmetics professional to be able to break things down into numbers. Any market woman who understands the game of numbers will do much more than a graduate engineer who does not understand numbers. I have seen a woman build 3 decades from selling oppa. Oppa. You know oppa, there's food called oppa in Igbo land. Oppa by the roadside. She was selling it consistently for 28 years and she built 3 decades, as in 6 flats as in 6 flats, 1 foot, 3 decades. And I've seen engineers, graduate engineers, work all their life, 30 years, and have not one single bungalow to their name. Game of numbers. If this is what you learned today, it's a good start. Okay? So if your goal is to be comfortable, chances are you will never get rich. But if you want to be rich, chances are you will end up mighty comfortable. What does this mean? Always raise the standard for yourself. If you know you can do something and gain 20%, please shoot for 100% first. It will stretch you to do more. So when people say, sir, this thing is so difficult, it's not easy, I tell them, yes, now, if it's easy now, it will be child's play. Learn to stretch yourself. Your best comes out when you stretch yourself. Stretch. Some will say, I'm not a public speaker. I can't speak. Please come and present for me. Stretch. Try it. You mumble the first day, you mumble the second day, the third day you start speaking, the fourth day you start professing. Things will start happening in your life. And believe you me, once you make knowledge, acquiring knowledge, your pastime hobby, each time you open your mouth, knowledge will flow. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. So if you feel you can't speak, because you've not put things into you that will come out naturally when you open your mouth to speak, what do? Start reading books. Start reading books. How to influence people. Reach Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, Cash Flow Quadrant, The Richest Man in Babylon, The Alchemist. There are books that bring out the best in you. Very important. If you are here when in crypto, please make sure at least in every month you read one book, whichever book it is. I'm not saying watch the film, the book in the film, or read it through the digital. No, get the physical book, like physical book, and be reading it one after the other. Okay. In reading that book, it teaches your brain. Let me tell you something. When you read books, instead of watching films, when you watch the film, the brain simply just follows that motion picture. The brain is lazy. When you read a book, there's a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is the bodily ability to capture sound. Listening is the ability to capture that sound, convert it into an image, internalize it before it leaves. So that's where the saying comes that something entered here and left from here. They say the person doesn't hear what to enter here and leave here, because he has not trained his mind to be able to capture sound, turn it to images, and then act on it. So until words come to image, the brain cannot act on it. So as you read your book, any book, and you understand it, the faster you are able to read the book, the more you are improving the brain's activity to see words and turn it to images and then break it down to numbers, and then you become somebody that can execute things. That is why studying is a royal behavior. Studying is a royal behavior. Only kings and queens study. So for every woman in crypto, in this community, woman in crypto community, I want you all to be kings and queens. You must imbibe that royal behavior. Don't say it's difficult. I don't understand this book. Can't read this thing. Please summarize it for me. Please just tell me what's inside it. No. Develop your mind. In fact, the next lesson I'll teach you guys on, maybe that will be next week Monday, will be mindset. I'll work on your minds. Okay? I want you guys to do a lot of awesome things. Okay? So the secret of success in life is for a man to be ready for his opportunity when it comes. That thing you called luck is not luck. No. It is preparedness meeting opportunity. If you're not prepared and the opportunity comes, you can never harness it. That's why there's a difference between chance and opportunity. A chance is something that just happens and you have no control over it because you never prepared for it. But an opportunity is any situation whose odds are in your favor. To make that odds in your favor, you would have built your capacity and capability to harness that opportunity. For example, it is raining and two people, and the one person has a bucket, the other person does not. The one with the bucket will fetch the rain. So some prayers you pray to God that are unanswered is because you've not developed the capability. You have the capacity, but you've not developed the capability. Do you understand? So what God does is whoever has both capacity and capability now takes up that position. That's how God answers prayers. It's not rocket science. For example, somebody has a challenge in his legs. I won't use the word cripple. Okay? It's just a challenge in the legs. Now, if that person is praying to God that he wants to win the 100 meters Olympic race, will that prayer be answered? No. Because, yes, he has the capacity to run, because he can use clutches to run. But he does not have the capability to compete against those whose legs are functional. But if that person prays to God that he wants to have the ability to develop his brain to where he can speak and the whole world will listen to him, God will answer that one. Why? Because he has both the capacity and capability, because the brain has nothing to do with the legs. That is why one of America's presidents became president on the wheelchair. I think it was either Reagan, one of them. I can't remember the name again. Just go and look at American presidents. One of them was president, but he was on wheelchair. But he was a very great orator. He could speak. What does that tell you? It means that you cannot judge a dog on how it can swim compared to a fish. Neither can you judge a fish on how it can run on land compared to a dog, because these two animals are adapted for their various ecosystem. So, great women in the crypto community, and I know that some men amongst you as well, right? Don't want to be like the next person. You don't have the same features and capacity and capability of that person. No. Find out your own strengths and be the best in that area. That means if the fish learns how to swim very well, he will swim faster than the dog because the water is his domain. But if the fish leaves the water and want to learn how to run very well on land like the dog, the fish will die. The same way, if the dog leaves the land and wants to learn how to run fast in the water more than the fish, you have challenges because the land is his domain. So some of you, find your inherent capacities and capabilities. Are you good at organizing? Become the best organizer. Organize things to where people come to you whenever there's something to be organized. Are you good in talking? Become a good public speaker. So each time you speak, the world comes to a standstill to listen to you. Do you want to be a good peacemaker? Then you must be a good listener. You want to be a good leader? You must be a good listener. You must be selfless. So go and look at who you want to become and find out what makes that particular personality stand out from others and begin to perfect your skills in that thing. Not everybody must be the image of men in crypto. Not everybody must do videos. Who is good in video, do the video. Others follow. You are good in train leaders, train leaders. Others follow. You are good in helping others out in the community, help them out. Others follow. So find a place in that community and play your role so well that you will be the go-to person each time that role comes up. And believe you me, money rotates. Money is currency. It will still flow to you where you are. Just keep contributing to that bigger picture. The dream is to bring all women in Africa under this umbrella where they can be financially free. They can create the world they want to create. They can do what they want to do without inhibitions. Okay? So wealth is when small efforts produce large results. Small effort. You can't do it all. You can't be the drummer, be the singer, be the dancer. No, that's poverty mentality. So that little one that you are assigned to do it like your life depends on it, and do it very well, because there's a bigger goal. If the image of women in crypto becomes large enough, you guys will begin to attract ministers, governors, presidents from other countries into your midst. So don't let that brand become lacking when it comes to you. Yes, have your vision, dream your dreams. Nobody's inhibiting you. Form your own communities, no problem. What matters most is if you're in that community, the role you have to play it well. And in the long run, as the image of the community gets bigger, the easier it becomes for money to flow into your pockets. Because everyone out there, when they see it first, they say, is this fraud? Is it scam? So they now begin to see testimonials, see people who have done things, whose life have been changed to the community. Before you know it, it becomes easier. You don't need to talk too much. People will just tell you, is it women in crypto? I'm in. How much? No long story. Women in crypto? I'm in. How much? That's what we see. No long story again. because results speak for itself. Poverty is when large efforts produce small results. You see yourself stressing yourself so much, doing so much, yet little in your pocket. Ask yourself the question, are you doing what you ought to do right? Because the act of making money becomes easier when you work as a team. So support each other and let the finance keep flowing by virtue of the value you guys have created. Now, I've now come to financial goal setting. Now, step one, determine what are you trying to accomplish. Please keep it simply stupid. That's what I call KISS, KISS. Keep it simply stupid. That means some people, we at the point of writing down what they want to achieve, speak so much grammar in that writing down that they even confuse themselves. Please, if you want to go to market, just write it. I want to go to market. But write the market. Is it New Haven market? Is it Ochanja market? Just write it. But don't begin to write, so I'm going to use my feet, and walk in style and cross over 2 mountains towards where I can buy things at a cheaper rate than you see blowing grammar. No. Make it simple. Now, let me tell you something. If you write anything down and a 6-year-old child cannot read that thing and understand it, it means what you wrote, you don't understand it. Let me come again. Anytime you're explaining something and a 6-year-old child cannot understand that thing you are explaining, it means you don't know it. Because you want to break something down to where a 6-year-old can understand it. At times, when I create my lessons, my wife learned it from me. I call my son David. He was just 5 years old then. I talked to him about it. Ask him, what do you understand I just said? He begins to talk. I'm like, okay, if he can understand up to this one, it means adults will understand better. So my son David, there was a video I saw my wife put up sometime of him teaching cryptocurrency. The little boy was just, and they do it on their own. They just take a microphone, put camera, put set, start talking. If you meet them, you begin to video them. So these children, they are learning. Your children, they are watching you, they are learning. So don't take what you're doing for granted. Teach them that skill. It's what they need to survive in this digital age that is coming. Okay? So once you determine what you are trying to accomplish, which is the first set, next thing is knowing where you are going. Knowing where you are going is more important than how much you have to start. Many people make these mistakes. Most of you make the mistake of putting money before. No. I've told you money is just a receipt. Don't see money as money. That paper is just a receipt. Begin to see it as receipt today. Just know what you want to achieve first. Know where you are going first. Doesn't matter how much you have. Doesn't matter how much it will cost. The universe will provide that for you. Your own is to have that vision. Write it down. Draw out the directions or the targets. Go through the goal of becoming the person who can achieve that thing. The universe will bring the way and the funds. It will happen. Every man who built every great thing on earth started with nothing. We came to the world with nothing, for crying out loud. You were born naked. That means if God thought you needed money to survive on earth, as you are being born, he will give you 1 billion in this hand and 1 billion in the other hand. You will now come with your hand closed, 1 billion, 1 billion. But he brought you on earth naked to show you that what it will take for you to survive and succeed in this world is in your brain, it's in your head, your thinking. That's where it starts from. Before you go broke in your palms, you went broke first here. If you want to fill your palm with money, once you get money in your head, it comes out to your palm, in your pockets. So whenever you're broke, you don't have money, first thing you should think is, what is the net value I can create that can bring in this money? That's all. Don't think about the money. Think about the value creation process. Okay? So it doesn't matter how much you have. Just start. The people who will make it happen will come. I'll show you how this thing, I'll show you why these things are so. So you can't solve a problem until you know what it is. Why do I say so? Because the problem is not the problem. The problem is how you perceive the problem. I don't know if somebody is following me. I don't know if I'm going too deep. That means the problem is not a problem. That means from now on, stop calling something a problem. Call it a challenge or a development. When you see it as problem, you run from it. You feel overwhelmed. You feel defeated. When you see it as a challenge, you live up to it. When you see it as a development, you decide to change it in your favor or ignore it. Let me give you an example you understand. Let us say you are driving your car. You got to a checkpoint. A military man with koboko in one hand and gun in the other hand stops you. He says, come down from your car. You came down. He said, why did you move when I didn't ask you to move? You say, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't know you didn't ask me to move. He said, oh yeah, frog jump. Jump from here to that place. I'll double you up. My dear, what happens? You won't even jump. You won't even do the frog. You will be reluctant to do the frog jump. Next thing, he will take his koboko up or cock his gun. Then immediately you start trying to do the frog jump. Before you jump 2 times, you will fall. You stand up again. You jump another 2, you will fall. Why? You will feel so embarrassed. You will feel so annoyed. Now, the very next day, you go to your gym. Your gym instructor tells you to give him 50 frog jump. You're like, Kochi, that's no easy. But maybe we'll try first. You start jumping it. 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30. You're like, he says, go on, you're almost there. 10 more to go. You do again. 39, 40. He said, 10 more, you're almost there. Keep on, 10 more. You do 50. Then you smile. You are tired, you are finished, you are in pain, but you are smiling. Why? You did it. The same frog jump Army man asked you to do the previous day. You couldn't do it. You were because the condition is different. You saw the other frog jump from the military man as punishment. So you were against it. You saw it as dehumanizing. So your brain interpreted that punishment negatively. That's why you couldn't do it. Then the following day, you are asked to do the same frog jump by your gym coach because you want to lose weight. Your brain interpreted that same frog jump differently as being beneficial for you to lose weight. So you saw yourself doing 50 frog jumps in the midst of pain, in the midst of sweating, because your brain interpreted that frog jump as beneficial to you. Whereas in the previous day, your brain interpreted that same frog jump as punishment. You couldn't do more than 4. Are you seeing what I mean by the problem is not the problem? The problem is how you perceive the problem. I don't know. I want to give you guys a lot today. This is your first encounter with me. I'm going to create time for you guys. Don't worry. We'll do a lot together. Be writing these things down. I'm going to turn you all individual to nations. Now, the number one reason most people don't get what they want is that they don't know what they want. Today is blue. Tomorrow is red. Tomorrow is white. Next month, I prefer dark. You don't know what you want. Remember, life rewards you for consistency. You must know what you want and do it consistently for at least 10,000 hours before you become a master in that thing, and then you begin to earn from who you become. There are 4 ways to earn as a human being. First, you earn from what you've learned. After a while, you earn from what you know that you've shared. Do you understand? Because that thing you learned, over time, you become very good in it. So you have to now, that's why great men write books to share knowledge. Even Obasanjo wrote a book. He's a military man. He wrote a book. Great pastors write books. Presidents write. Obama wrote a book. Obama wrote a book, The Audacity of Hope. He wrote a book again of how to become American president, right? So you earn from what you know that you've shared. For today, for example, the leaders in Women in Crypto, initially, they were earning from what they learned. That means when you learn how to buy a coin and sell a coin and take profit, you learn what you earn. Now, they are leaders, grooming affiliates. They are not learning from what they know they are sharing. Because as affiliates take that knowledge, more people are joining, they are sharing it 30, 40, 20, 60, 10, 20, any, whatever the ratio is, you are now earning. From that earning from what they are sharing, they are making more money to buy more coins. That's the second phase of earning. Then the third phase of earning is you earn from who you have become. People, that's why you become a consultant. People now pay you to come and speak to them in person because you have become that person of value that when you speak, people gather all over to hear you talk. So your men of God are earning from who they have become. The likes of Oyedepo, the likes of Adebayo, call their names. All these guys have big congregations. If you like, take that church from them, take everything from them, take them and throw them into Capernaum or in Canada where nobody knows them. That's who they have become. They will raise another congregation of men who listen to them. That's the secret. They have improved in value of who they have become, that they're able to get a congregation of men listen to the words of wisdom leaving their mouth. That's all. That's what they're eating from. So they are buying private jets, driving Jeep, driving big cars, building big houses. They are simply earning from who they have become. Then finally, the fourth state of earning is earning from your legacy. That means after you finish on earth and you've gone, royalties, even while you are still around, when you begin to reap royalties from works you've done, like scientists, they reap royalties. So even when they go, that royalty still keeps going to their children and children unborn. That's legacy. So ask yourself, how many years have you been on earth without knowing all this? And what would you have done if you knew these things I'm talking today 10 years ago? That's why I say some people live their life without having lived at all. They just existed. Nothing, they never lived. Today, these words I speak into you will inspire you to begin to live. So, if you chase two rabbits, both will escape. The more complicated you are, the more ineffective you will become. That's why I say keep it simple. When you're too complicated, people don't understand. When you give instructions, let it be straightforward. Don't make it ambiguous. Don't make it, confusing. All right? That thing you seek to achieve, stick onto it. And then the only ones who will be remembered are those who have done one thing exceedingly well. One thing exceedingly well. One thing exceedingly well. They're the ones that will be remembered. Once you hear Cristiano Ronaldo, what do you remember? Football. They've done it well. You hear Lionel Messi, football. You hear Adebayo, man of God. You hear Oyedepo, man of God. You hear Ayakilomi, man of God. And then just look at them. Just when you hear them, once you hear them, what do they do? They speak well. Kenneth Hagin. Just whoever your man of God is, just put it that way. Just know that they have done that thing consistently without food, without water, until they got to where they are. You hear Dangote, serial entrepreneur. You hear Mark Zuckerberg, social media guru, platforms. He bought Instagram. He had Facebook, went on to buy Instagram, went on to buy WhatsApp in the same line. You hear Elon Musk, breaking boundaries. So when they hear your name, what would they say about you? What can they liken you to? It doesn't mean you wouldn't diversify. No, you start first in one thing and be known for that thing. Then other things will come in line with that thing. Do you understand? For example, when they say women in crypto, who are they? We know them as the women that build nations. Because in that community, the amount of wealth flowing in there by virtue of how they assist themselves, they share signals, they share trainings, they help each other, they talk money. They're always talking about one conference or the other. If I join that circle, there's no way I can't make it. That's testimonial speaking. So where you are, give it your all. And believe you me, one day you will be announced. One day you will be announced. It's not a prophecy. I'm telling you what will happen. Because once you follow certain discipline, structured step by step with intent, there's no way the outcome will not show. In Women in Crypto, once I continue this leadership series and you keep attending, you keep watching the replays, there's no way from your midst we will not have commissioners, we will not have ministers, we will not have governors, we will not have leaders of thought in various communities, we will not have town union leaders amongst you women. I'm telling you the truth. You will take this knowledge, financial knowledge. When you go out to speak and you speak, they're like, hey, it's not the trauma that we saw last year, August meeting that came this time around, though. This trauma is different. This one is fire and brimstone. After speaking in your village meeting, wherever, even if you don't want to speak in town, they will come and say, that lady, she's loaded. Yeah, she finished also. When they ask you, but what did she say now? What? She okuke. She spoke a lot. You overwhelm people, and they will naturally follow you. Listen, the world is full of followers, but limited leaders. Notice how on social media, following. Followers. They are lacking leaders. We want to make you all leaders, that we have followers of thousands, millions, and on and on. That's why I say each of you is a nation waiting to board. There are people out there waiting for you to arrive so they can follow you. So just know, for each time you are wasting, not developing yourself to a leader, you are killing destinies of many women who would have been liberated through you. So you hold down not your destiny, you hold down the destiny of your nation behind you. So go out there and be a leader. Okay? So step 2, focus all of your resources to accomplish that one objective. When you know what you want to achieve, focus all your resources. What is a resource? A resource is anything you can always come back to over and over again. That means resource. Source means to source for something. Resource means you come back to that thing to draw again from it over and over. That means the world is full of cycles, repetition. There is morning, there's night. There's morning, there's night. 365 becomes 1 year. How many 10 years becomes a decade? That's how you got in cycles. So get used to cycles. So you might say, okay, when in crypto, all they ask me to do is only trading people. Trading. When will they ask me to do the other one? Don't worry. That training cycle, keep doing it. There's a work it is doing. There's a role you are playing, which is very important. If you don't train, people will not emerge. Leaders will not emerge. So you are grooming more leaders. That is the cycle, the resource. So those leaders you are grooming are the resource when in crypto needs to keep expanding. You are a leader. The duty is to present. Keep presenting. That's the cycle. Okay, resource. In the whole wheel, that is your own role. Keep doing it. In general, everybody is growing together. Like the farmer must always go back to the farmland to farm the soil. It's his resource. He must keep farming, tilling the ground. He will till it till he dies. The fisherman must go back to the water to keep fishing. He will fish all his life. It's a cycle. If he stops fishing, he starts going broke. He keeps fishing, he keeps making money. Do you understand? Resource. Now, when you come to resources again, we have financial resource and non-financial resources. Okay? So let me take it one by one now. So, in financial resources, very critical, please be following me. I'm trying to be slow, but this is where it comes in now. For those who will tell me, I can't do this because I don't have money. I want to show you why money is not your reason. Financial resources, we have cash and near cash. Cash and near cash. The question now is, how much cash can you raise without borrowing? How much cash can you raise without borrowing? This comes down to the 5 C's. 5 C's. What are the C's? When you begin to see cash as just cash, there's a problem. Okay? Money is not money. I told you money is a receipt. Now let me tell you the 5 levels of monies. Okay. The first is credibility. That's the first C. Credibility. Credibility means that when you have shown all workings to the world or to your community, you can make things happen just by the word of your mouth without cash coming out. For example, all of us have seen Dangote trucks. All of us have seen glows masts everywhere. Glow, 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 glow with pride. All of us have seen MTN. Let us say, for example, Dangote comes into your office and you know he's Dangote, you know him well, and you sell cars. And he says, you're like, I know you say you're Dangote now. So, okay, I need 10 trucks because I need to supply cement so and so place. Can you send it to my company and then we'll pay you at the end of 2 months, by month end or next 2 months? Would you give it to Dangote? Of course, you allow him drive the 10 trucks away with him because you know he's Dangote. You know he's credible. He's the richest man in Africa because he has documented his process and his successes. Okay? So you will let him go with the car and he gives you his word. And of course, by month end, you come to his company, you take your check. So credibility, as you build your credibility, it is money. That's where they got that name. They say that a good name is worth more than money. Okay? Next one again is, second C is credible relationships. If you don't have credibility, then find yourself in the circle of people who have credibility. So you can leverage on their credibility to get things done. That's what we call credible relationships. So let's assume you are selling car now. You sell cars. And I walk in to buy a car from you. And I tell you, I need this G-Wagon for my business. And you're like, okay, it costs maybe 200 million naira. So, okay, fine. And I say, okay, well, I don't have this money to pay you. But I'm going to pay you by month end. And I'm like, but who are you? I'm like, okay, my friend is your friend. Dangote, he's my shorty, he's my guarantor. You take your phone, call Dangote, or Dangote calls you and says, I know that guy. I'm guaranteeing him. He will pay you in 2 months' time. Give it to him. Of course, you release it because Dangote, that's why banks ask for guarantor. When you want to take a loan, they say, who is your guarantor? Who is behind you? Do you understand? So if you don't have much, make sure you make friends with those who are credible. They become your guarantors and you can begin to make things happen in your life and you live up to your expectations. So these two don't require cash, credibility and credible relationship. Now, the third form of money, I'm telling you, I'm arranging it in hierarchy. So you know the highest is credibility. If you don't fall in there, come to credible relationship. Make sure you have credible relationships. If you don't fall in there, the next is character. Third is character. Your character can make things happen for you. You have good character. People can vouch for you. For example, all these people who do apprenticeship, boy, you go and serve a master for 7 years or 5 years, as the case may be. He frees you. Maybe he settles you with 700,000. You now go to your master's friend and tell them, Oga has made me free. Oh, he settled me with 700,000, but I need goods of 5 million. I will sell and pay back. Now, those people who are your guy's friend, they know your character when you were serving your boss. They will say, is it Chinedu? We know him, he's a good guy. He will say, go and take goods of 10 million. Pay me when you finish selling. So he took 700,000 from his boss settlement, but based on the boss, his own character when he was with his boss, and based on his boss credibility, because he's enjoying credible relationship of having served his master, he can now access goods of 10 million on credits without having to pay cash. Do you understand? Again, another industry that was built on character is the banking industry. The whole banking industry is built on character. For example, your bank might be Zenith, GT, Access, anyone. In that your bank, you don't know when it was formed. You don't know who the manager of the bank is. You don't know when the bank will close. Some of you don't even know the name of your account officer or his number. And yet, all your earnings are in the bank. All you see is when you drive past Zenith, you will see the white building, you see the Zenith logo, and you tell yourself, my money is safe with them. You see GT Bank, you see the logo. You tell yourself, my money is safe with them. They've created an image of a strong character, of accountability, big, strong, reliable. It is that image they have sold to you through their advertisement, through their corporate branding, through their marketers wearing suit and tie, dressing well, drivers dressing well, new cars. That's character. And so you give them your funds to hold for you in trust. Same way too, when you do all this isusu, this thrift, whereby people come together, contribute money and give to one person. And in the next month, they contribute, give to the second person. Next month, third person. That is based on character. What if the person number one takes the money and doesn't come back to contribute for the other 12 people? It causes the system. So in that system now, character is what is sharing that money, not the money itself. It's character. So in women in crypto, you guys might have position whereby 2 or 3 or 5 women come together to put money together to run ads, or maybe to do what do you call it? Maybe to buy coin or something. It is character that have brought you put together to share that value. Now, the 4th C is competence. What you can do, competence. This is deep knowledge, competence. That competence is a form of money. You can tell somebody, I don't have money, but I can cut grass for you, and you give me this. Or I can wash this for you, or wash this do something for you. And they give what you want. Competence. And the lowest level of money is cash. When you see yourself having to spend cash before anything is done, I'm sorry to tell you this, you are poor. The poor deal on cash. The rich deal on the upper three: credibility, credible relationships, and character. Middle class deal on competence. Then the poor deal with cash. So do everything you can to move up the ladder of C's to come up to where you can make things happen without cash. Okay? So credit. Then when you're not able to use these 3 C's, you now move to credit. How much can you borrow on a short-term or long-term basis? When you don't have these 5, you now move to this last one, credit. Okay? And next thing is cash flow. How much cash could you divert from your monthly income to apply towards your financial goal? So as I'm making money in women in crypto, as I'm making money in your business, how much of it are you setting aside for a particular goal you want to achieve? This bull run is coming. You are buying coins. As I'm taking profit, what are you setting aside money to intentionally achieve? Because if you don't set that target before the money comes, the money will come and you will blow it and you won't achieve anything. So begin now to ask yourself the question, what do you want to achieve? You want to build a house for your father, for your mother, for your husband, for anybody? You want to start a business? You want to do something? Just what are your vision? Put it down now. Break it down. Know what numbers it takes to score. Then come back to wearing crypto and generate that finance for it. Do you understand? This is the right time to do that. Okay? Now, non-financial resources. First is time. How much time per week could you devote to accomplishing that financial goal? You must devote time to it. If you don't devote time to it, it never gets done. Okay? Now, there's this acronym I use, TMIH. Listen to me. For everybody listening to me today, money should never be the reason why you didn't accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Why? Because if you have time, it's money. If you say you don't have time, you must have money. If you say you don't have money, you must have time. Because you must commit time to value creation for money to come. That's the T and the M. Next one is idea. If you don't have time and you don't have money, it means you are wasting time doing what is not useful. So you don't have money, but you don't have time. Right? You are busy doing nothing. Then you must have ideas, bankable ideas. It is bankable ideas that will bring in money. And if you don't have bankable idea, you must have health. Health is the last one, H, health. Because you use your health to expend your energy, in return money will come. So look at this 4 equation and see where you fall into. So that anything you want to achieve, use any of these 4 factors to raise the funds to achieve it. All right? Someone raised his hand. Don't worry. I'll attend to all questions when I finish the section. Okay? I'm almost done. Next one is knowledge. Do you possess the specialized knowledge required for success in your chosen field of investment? That's where mentorship comes in. I will share knowledge with you. My wife will share knowledge with you. The leaders of women in crypto will share knowledge with you. Now, all this knowledge is towards enabling you to become more specialized in what it takes to make money in the crypto space. All right. So don't joke with your trainings. Don't joke with attending trainings. Keep coming for them. Okay. Mentorship is key. And then next thing is people. Do you know the right people? Because if you want to be a doctor and you are following lawyers, barristers, you cannot end up a doctor. You will end up a barrister. You want to be an engineer and you are following pharmacists. Of course, you end up a pharmacist, not an engineer. So since your success, you want to make your success through crypto, you will do well to keep being active in the women in crypto community, because these are people of like minds headed towards the same direction with you. And of course, you arrive there. Okay? That's it. Next one is courage. Courage. Are you ready to swim upstream to get what you want? Are you ready? Courage. Are you ready to swim upstream to get what you want? No matter how hard it is, show up. No matter how difficult it is, show up. No matter how inconvenient it is, show up. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is bravery in the presence of fear. Okay? We all have fears, but we've conquered them. All right? And you will too. So, and then let's see what I'm almost rounding up. Then step 3, 100-fold, 60-fold, 30-fold. Your ability to bring people together to harness their individual potentials is what makes one person earn more than the other. For example, somebody who is able to harness 30 people, and each of that 30, let us say each person in that 30 can give, let's say, 5%. And you're able to organize 30 people of 5%. Meanwhile, you yourself is only 5%. But if you have 30 people of 5%, what do you have? 60%. Do you understand? That is it. Okay? Sorry. 5%, yes, times 30. That's 150%. That's what you have. All right? 150%. But you alone is 5%. But with 30 people with 5%, you move it up. Now, imagine if you're now able to groom yourself as a leader to where you're able to now harness up to 60 people. That's 60-fold of that same 5%. Right? That means you 5%, 60 people with 5% becomes how many? 300%. Do you understand? Then let us assume now you're able to improve yourself to where you become a leader that can harness people up to 100 of 5%. You get yourself at where? 500%. That is the concept of women in crypto. One person came and started harnessing people, creating leaders. Leaders create leaders of thousands, leaders of 10,000, leaders of 100,000, and that's how it continues. So if a leader, the more you harness, the more the community is growing, the more the brand is getting stronger and stronger, the easier people will flow, and the more the inflow for you all. Okay? So that's the concept. So last but not the least, no one is rewarded for having a brain. You are rewarded for using it. Write this down. If it's what you take home today, it's a whole lot. You are not rewarded for having a brain. No. Those who are poor, those who are broke, those who are in the grave, they all have brains. It's when you use it, your ability to utilize it, the capacity to which you're able to use it. That's what determines your rewards. Okay? And that will be all for now. And I'll say, I love you all and thank you very much for listening. Okay? So we'll stop at this point. You guys can rest and I'll open the lines for your questions. I'll take 1 or 2 questions and then you all can go and rest. You guys have tried. We've been on since 8:30. This is almost 15 past 10. All right? We'll keep sharing knowledge. Okay? Thank you very much for blessing. God bless you, sir. Thank you so much. So you want to ask a question, just raise your hand and I'll ask you to unmute and then you can ask your question. So let me see whose hand is up. I'll just take about 2 questions, 2 or 3. Thank you so much, Amy Bright. Thank you. I see you all. Feyi Solar Roots, thank you so much. I appreciate you all. Any hands? Are any hands up? Sorry, someone says I can't hear you. Sorry about that. Okay, very good. Kazi, let me view you now. Okay, let's start with, I think, Wendy. Wendy, unmute yourself. Wendy, unmute yourself and ask a question. Yes. Hello, Wendy. Okay, Wendy is not ready. GMC, Beauty Empire, GMC Kazaj, Beauty Empire. Okay, unmute yourself, ask your question. Okay, don't worry. Okay, let's run in crypto. Sorry. Her Excellency, please take the stage now. Her Excellency, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All
Good
right, please take the
evening.
stage.
Thank
Good evening.
you.
Please moderate now.
Thank you
Okay,
so much
you're
for
welcome.
such a mind-blowing um session. We really, really appreciate it. This is
You're
like
welcome.
almost 2 hours, 30 minutes or something, right? Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Sorry, I
We
took too
really
much time.
appreciate it.
I entered the spirit. I took too much time.
I know
I
that if
wanted to
we
talk
leave,
1
we will
hour.
talk till tomorrow. I was just saying, God, please let him just. Thank you. We appreciate you. God bless you.
You're
We,
welcome.
the women in crypto, we really needed this mentorship. I hope you will grace us again next time.
Sure. A
Thank
great
you.
time for you all.
God bless
You all
you.
are great. Amazing.
They don't have any question to ask. They don't have
Okay.
any. Let them just go and what you taught us. They should internalize it first and possibly, wait for the next session.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So
Thank you.
I beg to take my leave.
Yes.
All right.
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much. Bye bye,
Yeah.
everyone. Okay.
Okay. All right. All right, ladies. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all learned something and we got value for our time. We all got value for our time, right? So yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. So see you guys in the group. If you have any questions to ask, just type it in the group. I will make sure he sees it and I will respond accordingly. All right. Okay. All right. Good night. Good night. Good night, everyone. Good night. Yeah.